It just somebody didn't manage to join it. I can keep recording, which will publish.
If you're happy, Michael, maybe we'll start in a minute or so, especially because we have the recording. I think that'll.
Yeah, sure, let's do that.
Perfect.
Cool. Great. Okay, let's just give it 1 more minute and then we'll start.
Perfect.
Okay, so I think we gave enough people time so everyone can join. So basically today's meeting we organized because it has been basically exactly 2 months, 1 month since the hackathon. So I think it's a good milestone. The meeting will be basically split in kind of 3 parts. So we wanted to be very interactive because, to be honest, this is we want really to build the Algorand community here in Berlin. I think the hackathon showed that there was like a lot of energy, a lot of interest in building, and I think Algorand is a very good place and to do that. So we'll split it kind of into 3 parts. There'll be a very short introductory part from me, where we'll just go through what happened, kind of introductory words, and then I'll give it off straight to Sarah Jane and Matthias. Because they will explain like more in detail, more meat on the bone, what are the next steps, what can you look for, and how to build an Algorand, how they can support you. So we'll go through the startup challenges, which are starting soon. So hope everyone has signed up, or if not, then tell us why you can't, and we'll hopefully have a group for you. And then also about the accelerator, there's the Algorand accelerator. So kind of that's the next step. I think Sarah Jane will be could explain to you at what point maybe that makes sense. So to give more support. And then the third part is would like everyone who's interested to introduce a little bit about their project. So what we'll do, it's a bit more structured way. We'll give like 3 to 5 minutes, not exactly like a pitch like you had at the hackathon, but like a relatively short kind of time where you can introduce a little bit about your project, can have either introduce it or also tell what have you built new if you showcase it at the hackathon. And also tell us a little bit what the challenges are, what's kind of the pain points for you now, how can we support you, what are you missing, what has been going well. So we really want like everyone to kind of have this a little bit of a pitch time and explain what we're doing, so we can kind of get all of them on the same page and move together all as a group. And hopefully, when if we see this the same common problems, I think it will make sense also to make something more designed to help you in that sense. So so thank you everyone for joining. We have just a recap. So 1 month ago, because maybe not everyone has managed to participate in the hackathon, but we one month ago organized a hackathon. It was relatively short. It was just one night hackathon, took quite like kind of basically let's say 36 hours. But we managed to get a really good response. I think the energy was really nice. We had almost 20 submissions. We had basically like quite long pitches, like a lineup of pitches. We had more than 40 building, so that was really cool. And we saw the energy in the room, and I think everyone felt it. We saw the feedback which people gave us. I hope you gave us feedback in Luma, and that was really good feedback. We kind of felt that we're on the right track, and Berlin is a very good place to build this community. And because we do have developers, we have this kind of startup culture here. We have 42 as one of the also kind of places which we foster developers. So that's kind of a really good place. And kind of with the help of the Algorand Foundation, we really would like to build this community. So that community is all about us. So we can all move together. And I think it's really nice to be part of something when it just started, because at that time you can get kind of this family feeling. You can get also much more support. So I just add some people. For this year, we still hope to have maybe 1 to 2 events, which kind of been already like marked down by the Algorand Foundation. Most probably they'll be a bit smaller. They'll not be full hackathons, but they will be probably hosted in 42 Berlin, here in Köln. So it would be nice to see everyone. There could be a really cool event about chess. So if you're a chess lover, maybe that's something to look for. And for next year, we do have a much bigger agenda. We're working that. So that agenda will have much more events, much more kind of like really serious stuff where you can really hack much more. So we'll probably have bigger hacks there. And hopefully we can do 2 night hacks so that you can build a bigger version of the product. We also hope not just to do hackathons, but help you kind of encourage you and give you the resources to build something more than just a hackathon project. The first hackathon we did, I think it was nice, and we saw the projects were kind of, I would say, the starter projects, a lot of them, projects which we built from zero. And in the next hackathon, we also hope to both support new builders and also more experienced builders, so we can continue building on things. We don't want you to come and build once and just throw it away. So yeah, that's basically kind of, I would say, the main things. So basically the idea is that we really would like to build out this community hub for Algorand here in Berlin. And the cool part is that we do have part of the Algorand Foundation team also here. Gulshe, who you met, there's Ram. So I think that's really a good place to do this. So we're really happy to have you all here. And without any further ado, I'll give over to Sarah Jane and Matthias.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Awesome. So we'll get right into it. As Michael said, we're going to get into the next steps in the Algorand ecosystem. Luckily, I got to meet all of you over there. But as you know, I'm the Junior Developer Community Advocate at the Algorand Foundation. Feel free to scan the QR code or take a picture so you can get on Telegram. I've already created a lot of groups with some of the Berlin projects, but I want to make sure that we have everyone included. So if you're thinking of building a bit more with Algorand, or maybe after this presentation, you're really thinking about it, just make sure to reach out to us, and my Telegram is on the screen. I'm super excited to invite and introduce the Startup and Builders Program Lead, Matthias. So if you want to say a few words, and then I'll kick it into the contents.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Sarah Jane. Thanks a lot, Michael, for the invitation. Well, as Sarah Jane mentioned, I'm the Startups and Builders Program Lead at the Algorand Foundation. I joined the foundation just 2 months ago, and I'm super excited to see all the things that are going on. I had the opportunity to go through all your projects. I wish I had been in Berlin, but well, I couldn't make it this time. So I'm super happy to see, your commitment and the excitement that you're showing with all your projects. So we are here to keep supporting you, and we hope to see all along the way the Algorand roadmap. The way that we support every project. So I will speak later about how we can keep supporting you before the startup challenges. But now back to Sarah Jane.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So yeah, we will be going through an overview of the pathway with Algorand. That will be more brief. Then we'll be taking a closer look with the startup challenges. I know I said a little bit about it over in Berlin, but I added a few extra slides so you can really see more detail. And then Matthias is going to take you through the Algorand Accelerator. Yep, Michael?
Yeah, I just wanted to give a brief kind of here point that I would really like everyone to kind of, if you have any questions, do please raise your hand. And so we can ask these questions, because I think it's really cool what Algorand Foundation here is doing. The startup challenges are actually very transferable. If you also do not even build an Algorand, there's a lot of things you learn here which are kind of super transferable. But if you have any questions, do raise your hand. And we wanted kind of to keep it interactive.
Perfect. So as we can see in this slide, we sort of show how we support the builders and startups at every stage of their journey. We normally start at the grassroots level. So sometimes we do workshops, whether it's in universities or just around a conference, or just randomly, say, with 42 Berlin, or any sort of community that is open to having some workshops so people can get hands-on sessions and get their initial exposure to Algorand. From there, we also have the Web3 Masterclasses, which was a new huge program we launched this year. We've run 2 of them, and they've been very successful. It's just a structured program that gives founders and builders the skills to go from their idea to proof of concept. The next step, which, because all of you have done the hackathon, or if some of you haven't and you're still interested, you have an idea, you're eager to get started, you can still apply. The registration will close on the 7th, I believe, or the 10th, but the first session is on the 7th. But the startup challenges is where teams apply their learnings, they pitch their projects, and they get real feedback and mentorship. The top teams from the challenges move into the accelerator, where they can refine their products, business model, and go-to-market strategies, getting a lot of support, which Matthias will touch on later. After the accelerator, there are many different pathways for longer-term growth between ecosystem funding, strategic investments, and then, of course, our Algorand Ventures. So the key message here is, whether you're just getting started or you're scaling a mature startup, there is something for everyone in the Algorand Builder pipeline. So now let's do a deep dive into the startup challenges. I just want to put the timeline out there. Some of you may have already seen this, but don't worry, I do have new content. And thank you so much, Michael, for posting it in the chat. I have new content to show you all as well. But we officially announced the startup challenges September 9th, and the first session kicks off on October 7th, so next Tuesday. And the sessions run for a month, with the last session ending on November 6th. After that, we'll do one-to-one mentorship, and I'll dive deeper into the type of sessions that we'll go into. But everything leads up to the final pitch competition on December 11th, where teams can present their projects to the executive level judges for a chance to win a part of the 125,000 prize pool. We'll host 2 semifinals, so of 10 projects, and those who make it to the finals are guaranteed part of the pool prize. Okay, so since Startup Challenges is a new program, we've designed it to help early stage projects move beyond their proof of concept and start gaining traction. That's the key word there, because to get into the accelerator and things like this, you need traction. Firstly, our target audience, we're looking for passionate builders, entrepreneurs, and innovators who have maybe already a project idea and want to tackle real-world problems or any type of problem with Algorand. The focus is on solutions that have a clear market opportunity and growth potential. So you can make sure you can become sustainable and a successful startup. And what you'll learn over the course of the program is be able to refine product market fit, test and validate their value proposition. You can identify customer pain points and learn how to integrate Algorand into your solution. So the sessions will cover how to attract early users and iterate on blockchain-based proof of concepts. As you already know, the length of the program is 6 weeks with 10 online sessions. It's structured, but also designed to fit alongside founders' busy schedules. Every single session that we provide is complimentary, so you choose the one that you would like to go to. If you go to them all, that's fantastic as well. And we'll also be having challenges, so you can iterate at each point and we can observe your development, which will help being shortlisted to go into the semifinals of the pitch competition. So I already went a little bit more into the target audience just there, but to reiterate, some of the main points that you will learn is identifying customer pain points, validate your value proposition, build and iterate on a blockchain proof of concept, integrate Algorand into your solution, attract early users and gather feedback. So this is a great point where not only from just learning and taking it from the sessions, we also will be engaging with the Algorand Foundation socials to make sure that when you are launching something, we can support you there, get a little bit of traction out there, build your profiles up, learn a bit more about founder-led marketing. But I'll do a deeper dive on the sessions as we go deeper into this. Let's see. Okay, this is a good one. So to make the most out of the startup challenges, we asked the participants to come in with some initial project foundations. Luckily, all of you guys, or most of you guys, have done the hackathon, so you already have some initial knowledge where it will already be faster for you to build if you have a new idea and you're starting fresh. That's totally fine. You already have been exposed to Algorand at like high intensity, so I have no worries there for you. At the minimum, we recommend you should have a preliminary idea that tackles a real market need, a clear problem statement that defines what you're solving, an initial value proposition, so what your solution will offer, some basic research into your audience, the pain points and your competitors, and a basic proof of concept, even at a very early version. Say, even if you just have it on Figma, not even coded, just to show some core functionality of what your solution is going to become. And then it's very helpful to have some basic understanding of blockchain's potential for your solution. So you're not building, just a blockchain product and put in blockchain as the buzzword. It's more of you have a business idea and blockchain enhances it in this way. These aren't the strict barriers. They're just there to set teams up for success. So if you're preparing, this is not a bad slide to work on it against. It's also on the website too. Okay, so these are 10 sessions. They are complimentary, as I mentioned, and they're highly recommended. They're very hands-on, where each step builds towards project development and traction. Every session ends, or every week there is a challenge, so teams can showcase progress as they go. And the aim is to help founders move from ideas to early traction and also build teams. Perhaps two people are building similar things, and then they agreed to go into a team, and then they've already accelerated their improvements. And also it's good to know that teams are kind of needed if you're going for things like accelerators. Participation in those sessions, if they are not mandatory, but they do make you stand out, especially when we're going through the shortlisting, so we can really get to know exactly what you're building, so we can understand what you are thinking in your mind. So the program combines two key tracks. We have the technical sessions, so they cover Algorand integration, AI, no-code tooling, and it's very accessible for non-tech founders as well. If you're willing to get a little bit dirty, but not too much. We already have a bunch of templates that we've improved to help you along the way, so you can just use vibe coding essentially. And then business sessions are focused on validation, growth, and pitching. So this mix ensures that you guys can not only learn the tech, but also learn how to align with market needs and present compelling pitches. So whether or not you go through this process and for whatever reason you decide not to keep going with your current startup, all of this knowledge will be very beneficial to you whenever you do a future startup. So if we break it down a little bit, we can see on the business side, we cover concept iteration and competitor analysis, value proposition and differentiation, understanding product market fit, demand generation and early traction, and then go-to-market. On the technical side, we can see defining key components for a POC, integrating Algorand into your POC, improving your POC, and then deploying and showcasing your solution. Finally, session 10 brings it all together on how to build a memorable pitch, and we'll be bringing in an expert to talk about how to pitch correctly, especially in front of maybe angel investors or VCs, or maybe in front of a pitch competition. And beyond these group sessions, we'll be offering one-to-one mentorship calls for teams that want to have more tailored guidance as they prepare for the final pitch competition as well. So there's going to be a lot of support that you can take advantage of. Now, to dive a little bit deeper into the content outline, in session 1, the concept iteration and competitor analysis, we're going to iterate your business idea from problem and solution, refine user pain points and map target persona profiles, types of competitors and how to identify them, and a really fun topic, which is founder-led marketing. Session 2, we're going to be defining the key components for a POC. So we'll identify core features needed to test your concept in the market, what we already have in the ecosystem that you can take advantage of, user-centric approach, wireframing and prototyping, UX best practices for blockchain products, and then we'll showcase a little bit of how to get started with the POC, but we'll be going deeper into that in session 4. But in session 3, for the value proposition and differentiation, we have our value proposition canvas, defining your unique selling proposition, so your USP, critical success factors, and how early traction validates your value proposition, which is very important. Session 4, we'll be doing an introduction to ready-made Algorand integration templates. The demo includes wallet connection, asset creation, and some basic transactions. So some of you may have seen a template used at the hackathon. It has been completely refurbished, and we've added some extra functionalities into it as well. So there will be even more new content for you there, if you were wondering. In session 5, we're going to do understanding product market fit. So what is product market fit and why does it matter? Levels and dimensions of PMF and how to test the PMF. Session 6 will be improving your POC. So adding more features that can improve your market opportunity and also learn about basic analytics to see how well or track what your users or your personas that you created in the previous sessions are enjoying or not enjoying, so you can build your product around what your users actually want rather than what you want as a founder. Session 7, we'll be doing demand generation and early traction. So moving from early adopters to evangelists, community building tactics. This is going to be a super fun session, low cost traction, experiments to prove market demand, and then key traction metrics to track and how to use them for growth. Session 8 will be the final technical one, deploying and showcasing your solution. So prepare your project for production deployment, deploy on first sale. And I know some of you have already experimented with that and did it for the hackathon. So you're already a step ahead. And then test with a small group of users and collect quick feedback. Finally, then, in the last 2 sessions, we'll have a go-to-market strategy. So we'll be crafting your go-to-market strategy, your revenue strategies, the fundraising basics, what investors look for and how to prepare, super important session, especially if you want to build a sustainable, successful business. We really like to support, and it's you can take advantage more from the support we can give you if we know there is a runway for your startup to keep going, and that you'll be able to generate revenue yourselves. Session 10 will be building a memorable pitch. So we'll bring in an expert. What is a pitch deck? How to start building it? Elevator pitch. What is it? What it is? Components and techniques. Tips for showcasing your product demo effectively in pitches. And what will you need to prepare for the final pitch competition? It's actually going to be a masterclass. So I'm looking forward personally to being in that session, and I hope all of you can join us as well. Okay, so now for maybe the extra fun part, the prize pool. So the total prize pool is 125,000, and it breaks down into the top 10 projects. First place will receive 25,000. This is all non-equity as well, so it's just there to help you keep growing. Maybe you'll put it into hiring a developer, or maybe put it into your marketing or AdSense, and things like this to continue improving your startup. So then you can really take advantage of our accelerator as well. Second place, 20,000, third, 15,000, and then fourth place is 9.5K, and fifth to 10th will all receive 8,000. We also have 3 bonus tracks. The best pitch will receive 2.5K, the best POC will receive 2.5K, and of course we have the best female-led team with 2.5K to promote diversity as well. So if before I head into after the startup challenges, let's hand it over to Matthias. I'll also be staying on after the call. Matthias will have to go to another call, but I'll be here. So perhaps I'll bring it to Matthias to make sure he has time for his slides for the accelerator, and then I'll answer any questions. What do you think, Michael?
Yeah, perfect. That's great.
Okay, awesome. And then also just to reiterate on this, the top 10 projects, there's only 10 projects pitching in the final. So if you pass the semifinals, you're guaranteed to get a prize for sure. Alrighty, so after the startup challenges, Matthias, I'll hand it over to you.
Okay, excellent. If you want, I start with, okay, perfect. I will start sharing my screen.
Awesome.
Perfect. Just a word on the startup challenges. Thanks a lot, Sarah Jane, for that super detailed overview. As you guys might, I guess what I wanted to say is that I strongly recommend you guys joining them, because you may have seen that we are covering lots of different contents from both business and technical side. So I'm pretty sure that, although you already have a working proof of concept, there's always, opportunity to iterate on it, to start refining a little bit on your business model, think of new revenue models also. So, as I said, I strongly recommend you guys to join us. I'm pretty sure that you will take very interesting insights from the program. So, okay. So, startup challenges. So what's next after startup challenges? As I mentioned at the beginning, Algorand Foundation, it's like committed to support projects from ideation to development and growth. So, your journey with Algorand does not end with a proof of concept, an MVP, or maybe, a hackathon. So, this is why we have also the Algorand Accelerator program, which is designed to help established startups gain traction and scale. We provide expert guidance and mentorship in areas like product, compliance, marketing, plus, advanced technical support on Algorand for you, to keep moving forward with your integration. So far, we have had more than 10 accelerator programs, and we invested more than 100 million into different projects. So, an overview on the accelerator. It's a program with no specific curriculum. Instead of a fixed set of workshops and lectures, the program is flexible, so you are not forced to follow a one-size-fits-all program. It's KPI driven, which means that the program measures progress by concrete goals that we help you set up at the beginning. like user growth, product milestones, or even fundraising, rather than by simply completing sessions. We also offer comprehensive support. This means that you will get access to everything that you might need: mentorship, technical help, business guidance, investor connection, community exposure, etc. Then this is quite interesting by the hands-off approach. It means that the program won't micromanage you. Startups and the projects that get engaged into the accelerator keep their ownership of the roadmap, while Algorand offers them guidance and resources only when needed. You also, have direct access to the Algorand Foundation, so you can connect directly with the foundation staff and network, instead of only going through, third-party mentors. And this is also very interesting that it's tailored to the project. It's like the support is customized based on each team stage and needs. Whether that's tokenomics, developer adoption, go-to-market, fundraising, product discovery, development, and so on and so forth. So, just an overview. What we offer on the accelerator, group workshops, office hours with developers, product experts, network access, mentorship, dedicated coaches, support from our DevRel team in case you need to get a little bit deeper into some integration concerns or issues. Then regarding financial support, this is something that we are asked a lot. The accelerator has two different tracks: the ecosystem funding and strategic investments. Ecosystem funding provides support for building the product, with support for development and services focused on marketing, legal, licensing, compliance, etc. And on the other hand, in order to apply for strategic investments for up to 50,000 K, projects must be already on mainnet and showing significant traction. So, inside the accelerator, we have also these two different tracks for projects that may be in different stages already. I mean, some projects join the accelerator at early stage, and we help them to keep growing, and other projects join in a more advanced stage with a product already on mainnet, and that's where we offer this strategic investment. Then another program or another instance of the accelerator or the support that we give for startups is the Algorand Ventures, which is basically the part of the foundation that invests directly into the ecosystem. The idea here is to keep the network healthy and active by supporting the best teams that are there, the ones that are building important infrastructures and cool applications on Algorand. But this, as I meant, this is also for projects that have already made, that are at a further stage from the ones that are only in the accelerator. Some support that the Algorand Ventures provides is advice on venture positioning, pitch deck, and fundraising strategy. We give you support with building an investor pipeline and making introductions. And we also invest in seed-stage project with traction. This is very important. There's also a minority investor in 1,000 round, equity or token raise, and typically it's between 250, 100K check size. So as a summary, the startup programs, it's like we have these accelerator programs, ecosystem funding, and scaling up. So the idea is, as we mentioned at the beginning, we can support you from very early stage for you to when you make to achieve a go-to-market strategy via accelerator, funding, and scaling up. So it's a long journey, which is kind of cool because it gives you the opportunity to start small and start growing. And in every stage, you will get support from Algorand. It's like we like to speak of it as we also have some kind of ownership. And with that, I'm meaning that your success is also our success. This sounds like a total cliche, but in this case, it's true because we are committed to you, and we also want to see you succeed. So next slide. Okay, well, here we have the startup programs QR codes. You can scan the code to register for the startup challenges that we will be starting next week, and you can also apply for the accelerator programs. Feel free, obviously, to share this with anyone that you might know that might be interested in either startup challenges or accelerator. And well, thanks a lot. We are obviously super open for questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
Perfect. May I actually just ask some questions because I had them. I think you actually
Yeah.
mentioned that, but I just wanted to make sure that also like we're on the same page because for the startup challenges and then for accelerator, if like my understanding is that the founders keep a full ownership. Like there's Algorand Foundation does, even if it does provide the support, does not like have any title to like ownership. So it's totally your project. I just wanted to reiterate that. I think that's, and for the ventures, of course, I think then that's strategic investment, and then that's normally just investment. And for requirements, so all the projects need to be open source also, or is there any? How does that work?
I might hop in on this one. So we recommend all projects to be open source because that's how you build a really beautiful ecosystem where you can also use other people's code or take ideas and inspiration. So we do encourage open source, especially because it just works really well with the ecosystem. That's how Android built and grew. Same with Apple and all of these major players. So we encourage it, but say, for example, you don't have to open source everything. So say if you were building a smart contract or a piece of code that you thought was super unique and you don't want to put it out there, you can open source your front end code and then keep certain parts of your other code private if you want. Of course, you always have the choice of keeping it fully private, but we would always encourage it at every stage. For startup challenges, it will probably be a lot more, it should be open source. And we would prefer it, and it would just help you. But for accelerator, you can private certain parts of your code off for sure. But if you communicate it with us as well, that's completely fine. Yeah, you have the option of doing private or open. We just encourage open source.
That's perfect. Just wanted to make that sure because I think that's a question that a lot of people have asked me. And yeah, maybe also I'm asking questions, but please feel free to either raise your hand or jump into the call and ask your questions. It's for everyone. I'm just asking questions because I just have some. So my kind of question is like, for example, startup challenges and for the accelerator, let's say. So what kind of projects are you looking for? What do you think is kind of a win for a project? And it could be like, what's kind of on the top of your head? What kind of things, guidelines you would give for projects?
I would say, sorry if you let me jump into this one. I mean, it's kind of tricky to answer that question. To know exactly which is a win for the project. I think that the key here is to have identified a real problem and come up with a solution, and of course that leverages on blockchain technology. But we have seen, for example, in the past week we had like the pitch competition for the Web3 masterclasses, and we had a very wide range of types of projects, from DeFi to insurance to to supply chain. So I would say that anything that actually solves a real problem is more than suitable. So you don't have to feel constrained to, okay, I have to build a DeFi platform, or it's up to you. The more creative, the better.
Perfect. And because I think it's kind of a question which I think many people have had, at least in my circles, is because you sometimes mention as a need. but sometimes it's like not really like a need. And for Instagram, it's not really the need for Instagram to exist. It's a social app and has users, and it's like very popular. So, for example, for apps which I would say not solve a like burning need, but I guess the people like they are where people use them. I say there's usage. So, what about because like also from that side, do you have what's the win for you in a project? Like from only profit or revenue? Or also getting like users, getting these kind of initial signups, getting users. Does that also kind of makes sense for you? Because I think a lot of projects also they first work on getting like a steady user base, and then they work on the monetization part, and then you see that many apps actually have not even monetized, even Web2 very big ones, because they are just working for the users. How do you would like kind of position here?
Matthias, if you go
I can
first,
take-
and I'll
yeah.
complement.
You're absolutely right, Michael. Yeah, I mean, getting traction, it's like the win here. You know, when you say maybe you can have users and don't have a revenue model yet, and that's perfect because I mean, you nailed it with that. There's a lot, and there's plenty of examples of Web2 projects that have had succeeded without having a clear revenue model, maybe for years. But they had a massive user traction. So if you manage to get users interested on your product and not having like a super clear business model at the beginning, that's totally fine. That's something that's also part of the iterative process of finding product market fit. Maybe first you solve how to tackle the problem that you have identified, and you got super positive feedback from the community, and then it's start thinking about monetizing it. But yeah, bottom line, it's having a big user base without having a clear revenue model is totally fine at the beginning.
Yeah, to complement that as well on the question of building something where there is a need, I think that can be split off in two things. Of course, in the need in the way that, say, for humanitarian aid, rather than social media, where it's not necessarily a need, but say the other part of trying to get the need is, or building something that is needed. One way to also think about it is to go where the market is and where there is a market need, rather than just a need of what we need as humans. So if you're stuck on an idea, or perhaps maybe you're like, oh, I've done this idea, but I don't know actually if it can actually become successful. Maybe it's just maybe a project that you built for learning. One way, if you're really stuck, is just look at the market, see where there is a need. So for example, if you look at TikTok or Instagram, we can see there are so many people that use those platforms. Now, not necessarily to create the new Instagram, because that would be very hard to take so much of that market area. But what you could do is build integrations for it, perhaps, or build something that you can monetize what's being done on those platforms that already have so many users. So different ideas like creating plugins, or creating your own app, and you maybe have integrated with TikTok. Maybe they have an API or something like this, where you can take some of the users from there and give them a whole nother opportunity. So you could get super creative with many different ideas. But I would say, if I was to take a step back, just Google what are the market needs. So where is most of the money flowing? Now that's obviously very business minded and more of a capitalistic approach. But there's also, we're very happy to support startups that are solving real impact. For example, we have invested millions, or at least over $1 million, I believe, into Hezlet Pay, and they're building over in Afghanistan a wallet. So people who have a smartphone or a button phone, or they don't have a phone at all, they still need to get their humanitarian aid. And instead of walking 5 to 10 kilometers out and 5 to 10 kilometers back with a big bunch of cash, what they have is they have it all in their hand, and they get sent the humanitarian aid thanks to Hezlet Pay, which is built on top of Algorand as well. So we're supporting, and we're we really enjoy impact projects. So if you are thinking of building an impact project, we have a lot of connections around from impact in America to in the Middle East and things like this. So that's also another area. We're quite diverse and open as an ecosystem at Algorand, and we do love diversity. We think it's the best way to come up with creative ideas, because if you take the same people and put them in a room, there's only so much they can come up with. But if you take people from all around the world, put them in the same room, there's a lot of different cultures and experience that can create even cooler technology or ideas that you can build on. So really, any idea that you want to come up with and you're passionate about it, that's probably the number one thing, is just be passionate about your idea, because it's going to be hard building a startup to be successful. We have a funnel here, so it's very possible, but you're going to have to put in a lot of work to try and make a revenue producing startup. That's my long-winded answer for that, Michael. I know there's a question in the chat, but if you have any follow-up on what Matthias
No,
and I
this
have.
is perfect. I think if there's questions, well, let's go for one.
Awesome. There's one by Sarah in the chat. Is it all right if the blockchain is only on a smaller aspect of the project and not the entirety of it being on blockchain? I know, Matthias, you probably have about 13 minutes left. I'd love to answer this question after you. So if you want to go first, be my guest.
No, yeah, I'm answering Sarah's question. Yeah, I mean, it's totally fine. I mean, let's think of blockchain, just as a component that you can use on your project. So it's not necessary to have it like entirely built around blockchain. Some things might be on blockchain, and some things may not be on blockchain. So think of it just as a component. So yeah, Sarah, you can have your project with just one, part on it of it on blockchain.
Yeah, and just to reiterate there, we always teach it in a way, even from the master classes, so even before the startup challenges, that it's all about being passionate about your own business idea, and then think about, how could blockchain enhance this idea? So is it for transparency? Is it for scalability? Is it for cheaper transactions, for verifiable records? All of these things, how can it enhance in any way, whether it's super small or super big? It really does not matter at all. So, and it's probably more like supply chain. There's another one, Lavazza. They have their supply chain on Algorand. They're an Italian coffee company. And so they basically put onto a transaction from where the bean is picked, what type of bean it was, where this bean was also picked. I think I already said that. But then how it's transported, where it ends up, and then where it is on the shelf where you buy it. And you can scan the QR code on their packet and you can see the entire journey. And so that helps them in two ways. One, people care a lot more about where their produce is coming from. So they're meeting a user need. And then secondly, if they were to get audited, they have a verifiable proof record that the audits can easily be like, okay, yeah, we can see you're not doing child labor. We can see you are, all of these moral questions are being answered. Okay, Jack, I think you have a question. Please feel free to unmute.
Yeah, so Jack Rolex is only my gamer tag. My name is Alexander. My email is yeah, so I have a question for Matthias, because I heard he will leave in around 10 minutes. Well, I was in a Team D charity, and we won like the second prize in the Algorand blockchain. And George forwarded an email where you sent us your Calendly links so we could do a session with you. And I wanted to ask, because for my startup challenge idea, I have something completely different than from my hackathon. And I'm not really sure how I would go on about it, because it's basically a drone delivery network, because I'm an FPV enthusiast. I'm like really passionate about flying drones, and I want to build a startup with it. And I want to get on the same page on like how I could make the most out of the startup challenges, and how I could what can I expect, what can I not expect, and so, because it's like a lot with regulations and basically like leaning heavily on hardware. And my question is, can I book a one-on-one session with you, Matthias, so I
Of
can
course.
discuss more about it?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. Feel free to, you have my link, and yeah, please go. I'll be more than happy.
Okay, nice. So questions answered.
Awesome. And Matthias, also there's probably one in the chat that would be more suited towards you. For the accelerator program, do we have to apply until end of October, or will it be going on after that? It was mentioned that we accept startups on a rolling basis through October 2025.
Yeah, actually, I think that we are about to close it, but it will be reopened in March 2026. Maybe I should have made that more clear in the presentation, because we only have like a certain amount of startups that we have like in the accelerator at the moment. So now that will be closed and will be reopened in March.
And also to add to that, so we still have stuff in the funnel that you can use. So obviously the startup challenges is going all the way from October 7th to the final pitch competition, December 11th. And then of course it's time to have Christmas and rest up a little bit perhaps, or keep building, which some of us will probably be doing. But after that in 2026, we'll be launching more startup challenges and master classes. Obviously, if you go through this startup challenges, you're probably at a higher level than the master classes. But say if you got to the semifinals and you were shortlisted, or say if you didn't make the semifinals either, you can always do the startup challenges again. And perhaps if the sessions that you've already been to, maybe go to the ones that you want to relearn or to get a deeper understanding, but you don't have to go to all of them, and you can still keep building, apply again for the pitch competition at the end of startup challenges next year, and then give it another shot. You can keep doing that until, of course, if you win a prize, if you're in the top 10 winners, you probably won't be able to redo it again, and it would be time to move on to the accelerator. Perfect.
Yeah, and maybe I just wanted to kind of maybe a question about the accelerator. So I think it maybe question could be relevant to a lot of people. So what would you say is kind of like, at what point do you think startup would be more or less ready to consider applying for the accelerator? What would you recommend? What's kind of like, so people don't wait too long, or also don't apply too early?
The easy answer for this is if you're a winner in the startup challenges, the next pathway is definitely go into it. So if you're thinking, and that's the best way to go to the accelerator and also to gain longer term funding, is I always see it as, we've got to see your development, we've got to see your growth. The people who are going to be judges for the startup challenges are the executive type people who you will be perhaps pitching to one day to get maybe funding from the venture side of things. So I would say go through the startup challenges process. It's landed at the perfect time for you all. So if you're waiting for, is this my moment? This is definitely the right time to do it. After the hackathon, 1 month later, you go straight into the startup challenges. Now for whatever happens next year, say something happened and then you have to stop your startup for a while, and next year you want to pick it back up again. To get to a good point to be ready for the accelerator is have an MVP, have some traction already. The more traction you have, the better. And then also make sure you have a very good product market fit. If you can ace those three things, you have a high possibility of being accepted into the accelerator. Matthias, if you have anything to add to that as well.
No, I think that's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm just asking because I think there's as you mentioned, I think my understanding is that the accelerator kind of finishes accepting by the end of October more or less, and then it starts around March. So when people can kind of like figure out that timeline for themselves.
Yeah, and if you go through the startup challenges, we're definitely going to be in one-on-one group chat. So it'll be Matthias and myself, also the head of builders, Camillo. we'll all be in group chats together. We're also very close with our colleague Ram, who is the accelerator lead. So we can always pick up those conversations. So when it does reopen, you're in straight away, rather than going through the, say, interview sort of process, and then it being accepted a month late, saying like April time. So if you keep us updated on how you're building, we can also, depending, we might be able to give certain bridge services, so maybe AWS credits or marketing help before the accelerator if you're within our startups programs. So it's just all about keeping us in the loop with what you're building on Algorand and asking us if you need certain help. There's no problem about reaching out, and we can see what we can do, or see, at least give you a timeline of what is possible.
Perfect, great. Yeah, and there was also one question I maybe want to ask. Yes, for startup challenges, I think just a kind of question is, for example, if something happened, can you pivot your project? Can you switch teams? What do you recommend for startup challenges?
Yeah, Matthias, if you want to answer that before you go, and I'll compliment you as well.
No, yeah, let me know what you think, Sarah Jane, but I would say that yes, I mean, you can absolutely pivot your product, your idea, because it's totally natural to maybe to start a project with some idea in mind, and then once you start getting deeper into it, you realize that maybe you were not approaching it in the right way, and so feel free to do not get married to an idea.
Yeah,
that's the key.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the key points that we even say throughout the startup challenges content is, don't be married to your idea. And especially because you may have an idea as a founder, and you're really excited about it. So you want to build all of the different functionalities you have in mind. And then by the time, say, if you built all this time building so many features, you put it out there and users are only using 1 to 2 parts of it, well, then you've just already wasted a lot of time building. So instead, build a few features that you think may be useful, put it out there, but then listen to what your users say. So don't just build it for yourself, because if you want to create a successful startup, other users have to use it. And so when users give you feedback, it's very important to iterate on it and to understand how to take that feedback in. And that's exactly what we're going to be teaching in the startup challenges as well. So that's
Great. So
a bit of a spoiler.
Yeah, the key word is getting users. Yes, or getting user feedback, that's all about users, I guess. That's kind of what makes sense.
Yeah.
So, are there any questions? Are there more questions? Please do come with your questions, because if there are no more questions, then we'll go to maybe asking the teams to pitch a little bit. Yep.
Awesome. Alexander?
Yes, I would have one question. So to get it better inside of my head, what would be the goal of the end of the startup challenges? As I understood it, is it so we can prepare to build a memorable pitch? Because in the end, we compete on pitching to like the executives and investors. Or is the goal also to build out something? Is it more focused, like fully focused on the pitch, or will we also build out some proof of concept in that time?
Yeah, or Matthias, do you want to take it?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Both, Alex. I mean, the idea it's both. For you to during the startup challenges to build your proof of concept or MVP, and of course to learn how to communicate that idea, to pitch that idea to potential investors and people who might be interested. So it's like that's why we have these both tracks: the business track and the technical track. So you will end up the idea to complete the startup challenges with both a pitch and a working proof of concept.
Yeah, it's kind of like the startup challenges. You could see it as like a founder's ultimate masterclass, because we take it throughout both sections. One other thing I'd like to add is that the end goal of the startup challenges is have a working proof of concept, just so I can lay it out super clear. Have a working proof of concept integrated with Algorand, which we teach along the way. have a clear go-to-market strategy and a lot more research done into your idea. So we're going to be going into competitor analysis, things like this, what makes you unique against your competitors, all the different types of competitors you may have, whether it's direct or indirect, and other sort of ways. So POC, have the business side built out a good bit. It's a bonus if you can get an MVP as well, of course. And then, yeah, be a lot better at being able to communicate your idea across and for pitching. Those are the three main things. If you can take those three things and you're within the winners as well, the accelerator program will be able to help support you to scale your idea more so than, because after the startup challenges, you should be a pretty well-rounded founder, still maybe early stage if it's your first startup, but maybe you're a serial founder already. And yeah, hopefully that helps answer your question.
Well, I have a small question to add on that. If the proof of concept or MVP is like a physical product, like in my case, it would be maybe a drone that could fly and carry a payload, how would I be going about it? Like, I think the pitch competition is probably on stage. Or is it also in a video call?
So yeah, so it's going to be a completely online startup challenge is completely online. So the pitch competitions will be online too. We'll have 2 semifinals, which will be more behind closed doors. So we'll bring in internal judges from the foundation at a high level, but it'll be a bit smaller. There'll just be 10 of you. But then for the pitch competition, we're going to do a bit more bigger production with it. So maybe some ideas like live streaming it, but it will still be online. So you'll be joining over a call and sharing your screen, save to your pitch deck, and also maybe to your video if there is a video on your pitch deck, or if you're going to do some sort of live showcase as well, you could just have your screen. You could come up with some cool ideas to try and stand out in the pitch competition. So yeah, it's going to be completely online though.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Matthias?
Okay.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say that I have to jump to another call, but you have my Telegram on the presentation. I also shared the link if you guys want to book a one-on-one session with me. Alex, I just saw that you have just did, so we'll be speaking soon. And yeah, I mean, you have my contact. It's been very nice, being here with all you guys.
Thank you, Matthias.
No, thank you. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Thanks for joining.
Awesome. So if we have any more questions, or very happy to go into the showcase and do some live feedback or possible ideas, and also just conversate what your thinking is around your project. What do you think, Michael?
Yeah, I think that would be perfect. So what I would like to do is, so I would really like to invite everyone who has some idea of what they'd like to build, or did in the hackathon, or they built out, or you have something. So to kind of talk a little bit about, let's give it 3 to 5 minutes, quite quick. So to kind of, you can either explain what you already have, showcase it to us, or maybe said what you built extra, if you have built something extra after the hackathon. And then any kind of feedback, any kind of issues you're having, any challenges, please feel free to say that. We would love to know what you're building, what you're planning to build. So then please do raise your hands, and then let's start going.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to gain more visibility for a project. Also use it as a way to practice how you're communicating your idea. So it's a good opportunity. And then the more you showcase it, the easier it is for, say, myself to give the overview for, say, my manager, or to Matthias, and things like this, so we can really think about how to help support your startup, so we can take it from project to startup level.
So would really love to hear from you guys.
No pressure, no pressure.
Yeah. Okay. Alexander, please go.
Yeah, so I think I already did like a small introduction. I will post a GitHub link inside of the chat. You can click on it if you want. So the GitHub link is what I have already done, like in the sense of prototyping. I could describe my startup idea as building an autonomous drone network to revolutionize last mile delivery. So think of it like especially ordering food, you will get the food faster, you will get it even cheaper, and yeah, it solves like the traffic jam problem. But in my head right now, how I see it is I am like so deep into building FPV drones and flying them that I really want to make something useful about it. So I'm not like married to the idea of building an autonomous drone network, but it really fits to like my passion of building and soldering drones, because I find myself just building all kinds of drones, but then I don't really fly them because it's like so exhausting to build them. I want to do like something useful with it. And in the last picture, you probably see a hex quad. And this is what I have behind me. I'm right now troubleshooting like why the motor isn't really working at like those cheap motors before those. So this is like right now what I'm at. And I've done some market research. So the three companies that come into mind that do the exact same thing would be Zipline, which started in Africa. They started to deliver medicine, and then they refined their product to like to make it work better and better and better till they had their first prototype. And then they already started in the USA, like in America, to have the last mile drone delivery segment. Then there is Wing, which is a Google subsidiary, and I really let myself inspire myself by Wing, because for me they have done it the way that I like, because Zipline focuses more on having a really good and robust drone that actually costs a lot and has like a small I'd say a small thing, a robot small that comes down and goes back up. And Wing is more focused on building building it more cheaply, so it uses more smaller motors, more of them that are more readily available, and it has like a more simpler design. And there's Mana, which is in Great Britain, or like somewhere in that neighborhood, like in Dublin. And they have like a more crude type of drone, which is a multi-rotor. And yeah, so I don't know if this was really a pitch, but this is like my thinking of it.
Yeah.
And right now I'm focused on building like a prototype that works, that I can show, that where I can make a video of it. And like in parallel, I'm researching into like the regulations and what I really have to aim at to like not waste my time and build like a super nice thing, but which cannot be deployed because it violates this regulation and this, and I have to start from scratch. And I mean, like where Algorand also comes into it is I thought about it a bit, but then I thought like, okay, yeah, this would be like a perfect fit, that I could build a blockchain which validates if a drone has actually delivered the package, if it's on their way to the customer, if the drone has picked up the package, if it's like flying to the customer, then it is delivering the package. It could be recorded on the blockchain, and well, in that sense, I have like a tamper-proof proof that the package has been delivered. It's not like some kind of a worker has checked the box and actually it was a miscommunication. The drone hasn't been there and it was like another drone, and then the customer says, I've never received a package or anything. So in that sense, I would say it's a strong use case for the Algorand.
Yeah,
uh,
so you're sort of envisioning the block. Obviously, all the other components sound amazing. It looks really interesting. I've looked into drones a little bit myself, but not too much. So it's cool to see ideas come out about that. And I know drones has have a good market need for sure. For the delivery service as well, we already know things like Deliveroo went absolutely, they peaked very high because of this new way of being able to deliver food. And so drones could be the next thing for that exactly. I was going to ask where would the blockchain component part come in, but you did mention it a bit at the end. So I guess you're sort of envisioning using Algorand to provide proof of tamper-proof delivery record. So maybe like proof of the location of the drone, or maybe proof of the delivery for the customers, as you mentioned. Do you see Algorand or any blockchain adding value to your drone delivery service? Like, would you have any other blockchain angle? Not that it needs to be, but I'm just putting it out there while we have this sort of a discussion and brainstorming. So, would you ever think about it for payment settlements or regulatory compliance logs? Because I know you talked about compliance there. And the same way as Lavazza uses the supply chain on Algorand, they use it so it can be a proof for compliance and audits and things like this. I'm not too sure of how the compliance is for drones, but maybe that's also another area that could be interesting. Then you could start getting into even deeper ideas of if you're looking for new revenue models, because one thing I find in crypto is it allows new revenue models to be created that have never been created before or discovered. So I wonder if there's a cool sort of tokenized economic model that you could do where, you could have the drones do per mile micropayments, or maybe like if you're the main operator of the drone, or if you have people are getting your drones but they operate them for themselves. Maybe you could have some sort of staking opportunities there. Or would you prefer to just keep blockchain strictly to the background data for integrity side of things? Or have you looked into that?
Yeah, so I've when I was brainstorming a bit to how I could incorporate blockchain into that, I found myself I wasn't really comfortable with like blockchain also being in the payment part of site, because when I think about it, I want to convince restaurants to use my service. And if like Algorand or I don't mean Algorand, but like cryptocurrency in general is like heavily tied to the payment, then I fear a bit that the restaurants, they are like not really into it. And that would be more of a deterrent if I say like, okay, yeah, it's like really cool structured that you only pay like in this way or that, and then they would need to set up a wallet, and then they would, I don't know if that's true, but they would maybe get paid out in like Algorand, or they would need to pay it. Then many customers would say, no, I'm not interested in that. I just want to have cash. I just want to pay in cash. Give me an invoice. I will pay you it in cash. So that's the reason where I'm like more leaned into the idea of like using blockchain as a part of like validation if the package really has been delivered. And I would say I'm actually quite open to incorporating blockchain. Like for me, it just has to make sense. I also don't want to like use it as a buzzword. Like yeah, I use blockchain, I use AI, and all of the stuff. It just has to make sense. It just has to fit in there. And if it would make if it would overcomplicate my project and my startup idea, I would rather not use it than like try to everything to incorporate it. But I also see like Algorand is funding like the startup challenges, so I really would like to use it, because otherwise it's just like what is in it for Algorand. I should at least like have some kind of thing where I would incorporate it. And for me, like proof of delivery is just like super useful and super great, because when I was doing research about other drone delivery companies. Mana, for example, which is in Dublin. They I didn't really know that before, but they have a lot of human operators, and basically the delivering part, like when the drone is at the like customer, in the sense of the end customer which orders the food, the human operator manually operates the drone to lower the package, and if he sees a tree or if he sees that like the road is blocked or something, he won't deliver it. And for me, it's just like super wasteful to not automate that step. And for me, I would like to automate it as much as possible, and I don't want workers having to click buttons to say like, okay, yeah, this drone went there, okay, checked, this drone went there, checked, and so on. I see like the blockchain is like a good fit for that.
I think I'm just sorry, just to kind of I think that's a really cool idea you're working on. But let's just I think and that's like makes total sense, I think, for one-on-one call here. So I just wanted to kind of also like kind of invite our team to have some time, because we don't want to keep these calls too long. But I think that's really good that you're gonna have a call already. I think it's tomorrow, so that would be a perfect time to discuss. But I think the idea is super cool, to be honest, personally.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alexander.
Yeah.
So yeah. What other teams would like to? I hope somebody steps up here. Otherwise, I'll have to call the winners of a hackathon. Okay, so let's see who is here. Yeah, Alana.
I think you're
Alana,
muted.
please.
Do you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, I would like to maybe show our project real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so we made the project during the hackathon. It was a lot of fun. It calculates the beauty of the sunset. It shows where you are located. It checks it automatically. And it calculates based on the weather forecast and with the help of AI. And so you can catch all the beautiful sunsets around you. And you can see on the map, there are already some sunsets uploaded. Let's also upload any photo. Let's say this beautiful sunset. It gets uploaded to Pinata, and then it pins to the map. It doesn't work perfectly, so it's of course in our plans to fix the outlook of it. It can take a while for now. It got uploaded somewhere, probably far away from here. Anyway, we were having a lot of fun during the hackathon, but just thinking about this project, you can already think that difficulty could be to think of a business application of such an app. And it is exactly what we've been thinking about and refining the ideas. And let me stop presenting. So we were applying for these startup challenges, and it took us several days to finish the application because the questions there made us think of a lot of things. For example, the question about the pains our app is solving. And we have been brainstorming because if we had this urge to make this app, it was solving some pains that we had. And we were like back and forth the ideas, like, why do we need this app? And we came to many ideas why, and also how we could apply blockchain. For example, it solves one of the problems it solves is lack of third places. If anyone knows or doesn't know what it is, first two places are home and work, and third place is where people meet. And we want the sunsets to become one of those places. So you can hold events there. It is kind of free to use, and you can create communities around it and meet people there. And funny enough, we got a lot of feedback and still getting even during this call. And people are coming to the same conclusions. But also the most important part for us is that people are still thinking about our product, even after the hackathon, after you're presenting at Web3 Hub. People write whole big documents about their ideas, how to market the product, how to what features to make. And So we are focusing now on refining our business ideas to participate in the startup challenges. And we actually came up with the idea about marketing, which is pretty interesting. So keep updated, maybe follow us on Twitter to know more.
Yeah, please put your Twitter into the chat as well. That'll be super helpful. And also, when you're going through these thought processes, which is like such a key area, that's also what's going to happen during the startup challenges as well. But you'll have, you'll have a lot of content to learn from, but also mentorship. I know we already have a group together with Mateus and Camilo as well from the Head of Builders. So all of these types of questions, if you put a lot of thought into it and just put it out there, oh, do you think this would work? Or maybe, oh, I was thinking of doing this, or do you have any ideas of how we would add a feature or add a functionality to the Sunset calculator? I personally really think it's a really nice idea. I would download it and use it. Maybe that's because of, there's so many different types of pains that could be out there, but as you said, you guys built it, so clearly there was a pain somewhere. So it's really pinpointing exactly what that pain or pains are, and letting people realize that they also have that pain. Then once you get them onto the app, then it's about having maybe some premium features where they could have a subscription or things like this, maybe like different types of premium features, which we will go through a lot of different types of strategies within the startup challenges as well. But if you post it in the chat, that'd be super cool.
Yeah, I will. And I saw my co-founder raising the hand. Maybe she wants
Yes, me
Oh,
too. Also
perfect.
saw her. I just wanted to actually to reiterate here, because I think that was a really cool. That was like all girls team, who got the first prize. Yeah. So those are really cool ideas. In my opinion, our founder, Electra, she just raised her hand. Just saw that. So wait for her. But yeah, I think in my opinion, to be honest, I think the project is very cool. I think the only thing that I would mention that the word calculator for me confuses me, because I think it's like more like it does calculate it, but I think it's also not the main point of it. It's more point of like you go there like, oh, there's gonna be some cool, is there gonna be this beautiful thing which happens every single day, and the chances. It is a calculator, but maybe the word calculator. I think, and I think you had actually a really nice Twitter account which is called Sun Settings, which makes more sense to me just personally, kind of when I hear it.
Yeah, that's a great point, Michael. I'd also probably agree there. Creating like a name that it can be memorable is very handy, and also not too long, so it's very easy for people to just keep it in their minds. I think as well, there's such a huge opportunity to turn it a little bit social and have it a bit of like a community gathering as well, which is another huge pain that people have, is getting out there. And so if people can all gather around the sunset, that's also quite nice. But I'll let is it?
Yeah, I think the other co-founder just raised her hand. That was her.
Yeah, hi. Sorry, I don't have camera today. I just wanted to add that we analyzed the whole market doing the same stuff, and we downloaded all the applications which can predict sunset. And first of all, we got the information that they predict very bad, and it doesn't work. And the second thing was mostly this application were only for professional photographers, or they were super basic, and they didn't have this philosophical aspect that we have. We want to make it like more a community, a big idea with the capital letter, not only the calculator. So, and I hope that will be our strong side. So
yeah, the
thank
more
you.
you dive into that, exactly what you're saying, I completely agree with you. The more you flesh into that and take on the learnings from startup challenges, I think it'll be very interesting to see how far you guys go within the startup challenges. and definitely give it a go, because nothing to lose, just a lot to gain. That's why I hope everyone will really take advantage of this, just from a personal perspective, as well, because there's no better time to build than now.
Yeah, and I think it would be so cool what you mentioned about this philosophical aspect of it, is to have it somehow like mentioned like in the future iterations when you have it, like subconsciously or even written out on the app, so that it kind of it makes instant. Because I think when it's pitched, it makes much more sense. When you see it, like at this point, it's I think still that kind of needs to be translated somewhere inside the app. I think that would be really good. Yeah, but I really like it.
I wanted also to answer a question from the chat. Yes, we have such plans to enhance our idea to so-called basic miracles, because we want to explore all nature miracles we have around us for free. We didn't notice usually. So yes, the answer is yes. We are working on it. Touching grass forever.
Yeah, I think it's so cool because you have this. I mean, you have a third space kind of like concept, which was kind of for a long time, and then I think that Starbucks kind of pivoted, so you'd go like not to work, not to home, but to like somewhere to drink coffee. But to be honest, do you need the coffee? Is just having like something cool to watch? Maybe that could be also a thing. So I think that could be really interesting.
Thank you for the feedback.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. So perfect. Does anyone want to go next? Yes,
Awesome.
please.
Ludo.
Hello. Can I share the screen?
Yeah, please feel free. Is it working? Awesome.
Okay, so recently I'm working on the Biotech scan and also the Biotech DEX. And yeah, I the yeah, I already translated it into German, for example. But the thing is that the Biotech scan should be basically the competition to Allo and Vestige. So
Yeah.
it should be the Explorer, so people can see the recent blogs and also see the live trades. Also, they can see, for example, the assets, and they should see the real value locked in the assets, and it will include definitely the Biotech DEX. So one of the pools here, by the way, this is mainnet, is the CLAMM Votecoin Algo pool, where is something like 40,000 algos and 300,000 vote. And because this is concentrated into the price range of between 0.14 to 0.16, it's basically the same thing as there would be like 1 million algo and 10 million vote in the constant product AMM on PactFi or TinyMan. So basically, this is much better because people can get like much better quotes when they trade, and also like if the liquidity is basically the same, or then the liquidity providers gets more trading fees.
Yeah, awesome. And I have a question. So obviously it's fantastic. It's already on mainnet. The UI looks really nice. I like the purple aura from it. One of my questions is, what sort of plans do you have, or how would you generate revenue, or what ideas do you have to be able to generate revenue so you can keep hosting? Because I'm sure if you're hosting, that would also cost money.
Yeah, like the thing is that I want to have the generic router, something similar as VestiChef, and but actually I don't plan to charge any money there, like extra fee, so that in competition with Vestish folks and others, it's and Deflex, it will get basically the best quotes. But basically, I want to marketize as much as possible the Biotech decks, like because
And so, sorry to interrupt. So the way that, say, Deflex router, now that Transaction Lab has it and they use it for Haystack, have you created your own sort of router to be used for biotic decks, or are you using an existing router? Just so I can clarify.
yeah, I'm creating completely new router. Basically, with this project, I created like aggregation of data, like completely new to the ecosystem, and I'm creating the new router there. So
Okay.
yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, and the features of the Biotech DEX is that people can, for example, put their liquidity into focus shape or spread shape or equal bin shape or yeah, or if they want to put it into like exact price range, they can. And there is also a feature which other CLAMMs doesn't have, that you can put it at the exact price point. So basically, you deposit and for example, the total uh, total USD. Has this feature that it quotes the price between 0.9 to like basically at this price level. And if the price goes below the gold DAO is bought with the USDC, and if the price goes above, this pool got drained. So technically, there is at the moment this pool is drained, and there is some liquidity in this pool. So yeah.
Yeah,
And
awesome.
there
Sorry,
are
go
many
ahead.
more features. Like, for example, I combine it with the Biotech identity service. So there is the verification class thing where verified people will have like verification class 2, and like verified people, when we verify the identity of the people and we know like their on-chain activity, we can decrease them the fee multiplier. The base fee multiplier is 2x. So basically, if traders trade at 0.1%, they like if they are totally anonymous, they trade basically at 0.2%. And like this is something like on Coinbase or Binance, that with higher trading volume you get like lower trading fees. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I see that it's also you received an XGov grant. Have you been in contact with Fred about what you're building as well, Fred Estante?
Well, he doesn't reply to me much, so yeah, I already gave
Okay,
up.
we'll see. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I think it would be good to give him a latest update on this. If you want to send me the links, that would be super cool. And so is the Biotic Algorand scan that hasn't been built with the XGov grant, has it?
No, this is so.
Okay.
This is
for-
because basically I didn't get to this accelerator program with the
Yeah.
Biotech Dex. So I didn't get the support from basically the ecosystem for to push a bit on Vestige,
Yeah.
for example, to list it there or some other other routers. So I decided to create a completely new thing. So
Yeah, awesome. So for the startup challenges, you'd be going in with the Biotic Algorand scan. I think that's also
with the Dex, by the way.
with the
But,
Dex. Okay. Yeah,
I
that's
think I registered with the Dex, or perhaps I registered that as a Biotech. I don't
no,
remember
both are
exactly.
cool. We want to help sort of so one thing with building DeFi on Algorand, say because there's already some main players there from Folks Finance to Tinyman, Vestige, there's Complex there as well. One thing that's hard is due to like volume, it's so hard to capture some of the market already there. So that's why it's probably not that we don't want to support. It's difficult, and so we have to go through different measures on how to support it, because unless you're able to generate revenue in a sustainable way, that and we can help support on different types of things, like marketing, bridge services, things like this. I think because of the volume that we have in Algorand, it could be a bit more difficult, but those problems are also being solved with partnerships that are happening. And also as the market is continuing to grow and the regulations get a lot clearer from both the Europe side with MiCA and then with the SEC over in the United States. So hopefully that can help the bottleneck that is currently on DeFi across all ecosystems, not just Algorand. So I'd say that's probably why maybe it was more difficult to support. But I think through the startup challenges, we're able to really get to know your product, really get to see how you can start building, different revenue strategies, and create also the business side. So clearly you're very good technically. So it'll be very interesting to see what you take away from the business sessions and how Biotic might change through the startup challenges. So super excited to see the decks, and I think it's also good to bring such high technical quality into the mix.
Yeah, by the way, one of the Biotech products is basically the Aramid bridge. So, and this is basically alive, and we have quite good volume there. So, yeah.
Over in
For
oh
the
yeah,
record.
yeah. So that's AVM. So both Voy and Algorand.
Yeah, it's also the other chains like base
Oh, cool.
and
Feel free
RB2.
to feel free to add me on Telegram, Ludo, and send me those links so I can check them out a little bit more. But yeah,
Okay.
looking forward to seeing it grow in the startup challenges, and we can see what sort of support we can do and what's possible there. But thank you so much for showing Biotic.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's also really good to kind of pair technical prowess with, I would say, the business, the pitching one, kind of all that part, because I think that's kind of needed. That's how it helps to move projects along.
Yeah, and
so
I'm sorry to interrupt, Michael, but also to get into the accelerator, it's very important you have a team. We don't really like to accept solo founders, so it's great to use startup challenges as a way to see people who are similar thinking as you or are interested in the same things as you, or maybe you are the technical prowess, and then there's also a really good person at communicating, or somebody who's really good at the business side of things, and being able to form a team. That will really help you not only in the pitch competition of startup challenges. It won't make too much of a huge difference. Of course, having a really strong team will just stand out. But to get into the accelerator, you definitely need to have a team. So perhaps that was one of the barriers as well. But hopefully that's super clear now.
Yeah. What's the size for the accelerator? Kind of, you think is like Do you have a kind of like what you think is a good size of a team in your
Um,
experience
I would
or
think
range?
at-
Let's say.
yeah, at this early stage in startup challenges, you can start solo and you can finish solo for startup challenges, but we will have team formation sessions, and also we're going to have it all into a group chat on Telegram where there is a networking topic as well, so you can put in your idea and you can see, or maybe you can see other people what type of work they're doing and you might like it. And so I would give a range of 3 people is always great. 3 people to go into the accelerator. Of course, if you have more, fantastic. But 2 to 4 people, 3 is the magic number, as they say as well. So if you go with 3 people into the startup challenges, that's fantastic as well.
Great. Udo, do you have a question?
Yeah, does employees count as a team?
Which one?
Employees, like you
Employees.
might pay
Yeah.
people like the developers.
Yep, that completely counts, of course. So you can have teams that are, 3 co-founders. You could have a team where there are 2 co-founders and then a founding engineer, or you can have, a founder who has employees like developers or marketers. It all depends how far you're in. And in the accelerator, we also encourage, don't take on all the work yourself, even if you want to and you want to save costs as a founder. It's actually, you're more efficient if you delegate tasks to other people, especially experts in their domain. So yeah, but to hire people, of course, you need to have you need to generate revenue, sustainable revenue, or there's other ways to get people on your team. If you're thinking of the route of going for an LLC and giving up some equity for your team members, there's so many different routes, and we'll be going into that in the startup challenges a little bit as well. But that's more of the things you will learn, and those sort of high-level questions to ask when you get into the accelerator, or if you're on the interview process to get into the accelerator, you can still learn from that process as well and take advantage of that time.
Good, cool. So yeah, I think then since nobody's raising hands, I'm gonna call some people because I know some people want to say something. Okay, Boo. Okay, you raise your hand. Yeah, you were first.
Hi, how are you? So yeah, we participated in the hackathon and we won the best blockchain utility prize, and our project was a tap to stream. So this is actually a pay per second video streaming platform, and I was also thinking at home that how can we accelerate this to the startup challenge, and I see there's a big potential in our idea. So the idea is like, so there are so many OTT platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, Disney, and in all the places you have, like, you have to subscribe for a month and you have to pay on an average like $15 a month, but there is no like pay-per-view or watch platform. So out of this, so this came to my mind that we can implement our idea into this. So the idea is like people will be paying like let's say in every second or maybe like every view, and which will be, and in the back end the smart contracts will be automatically executing the payments. So this was our idea that we can actually wanted to implement. So this is one of the micro payments.
Yeah, I think it's super interesting, and micro payments are such a unique thing that blockchain has discovered, and it's such a good use case for blockchain as well. So that's super strong already. I think, and I believe you have more than one person in your team as well.
Yeah,
I think
we have 4.
Yeah, 4. So that's a really nice number. I think the startup challenge is the right path. I think it's still too early stage to go for the accelerator straight away. And especially since it's closing in October and opening back up in March. So I think the next step is take on the startup challenges, keep going with your idea. And as you go through the sessions, your idea may change and iterate a little bit as well as you learn new things. And also we'll be there to answer different types of questions, whether it's live on the session itself, or maybe it's offline on the Telegram group chat, or then when we open up the one-to-one calls where we can have a discussion with your team and then our team at the foundation, and we can dig into any sort of points that you're getting stuck on or things you want to learn more about. One thing I will say is on the smart contract side, you should definitely join the Algorand Discord. That's where our developer relations team is on. So if you had some very technical questions or you're getting into smart contracts and you're not too sure where to start, myself and Camilo, so the head of builders, we can help answer some of those technical questions within the Telegram group chat, which we'll make with your team. And if you add me on Telegram, I've already sent it into the group chat, and send me a message, say just like a little bit about your team and your idea, then I can create a group chat before the startup challenges even begin, so you can start having access to ask questions. But yeah, I think I recommend you join the Discord so you can have extra accessibility and help with the more technical side. But I'd be super interested to see and very excited to see where your idea goes. I think I did mention the Tap to Stream to Ram, the accelerator lead. He was also there in person when the pitching was happening, and we both found the idea. We find ideas that are using say social platforms, or just not reinventing the wheel, but there's something already out there, but adding something that blockchain can create possible. Super interesting. So I think, yeah, you're in a good place. And if you have any questions, ask me on Telegram, or if you have any questions now, it's perfect place to ask too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Thank
So
you.
I think there's so let's perfect. We have one more. Pasha. Please.
Hey, hello. I
Hey,
want to present you a project of my team. Yeah, can I share the screen, I think? Yeah.
Yep.
Let's entire screen. Yeah. Now you see everything. Nice. I have a presentation here. So
awesome.
yeah, we're building Aura AI life coach, real-time companion. So it listens to all the time and analyzes your patterns, basically behavior, your speech, the way you speak. And we're planning to add such things as, for example, tone analysis. Yeah. How can I just go? Yeah. We have this problem that psychologist or your personal life coach can know only a part of the context of your life, and Aura can listen to you all the time. Before the question about privacy, we actually analyzing the whole information just on your device. So it means that local small AI model can analyze the whole context of the day, and the snapshot of the day also being we save it just for one day. It means that each other day and next day will be also saved, but previous day will be deleted. Yeah, it's more about self-improvement. For example, I want to be more kind, more empathic person. So Aura can listen to me and check out my patterns. For example, I'm being too rude, or I'm being too, how to say, I use some words that can hurt people, or yeah, and so on. So it's like all this kind of stuff. Yeah, so it's about current solutions. Our application can just be in your pocket, always on. We transcribe only your voice, only your speech, only your context of the day. We have small snapshots, so it can be one day, and also, for example, every hour we can just analyze your current mental state, your current context. Yeah, as you see my application now, yes, it should be pretty cool glass hard there, but in the simulator I can't show it. Yeah, also it looks kind of this way. Yeah, as you
Awesome.
see, you can get daily analysis based on things that you speak. I can turn it on right now, and you can see that it transcribes everything I say, even now. So under the hood, we use Gemini API now, but we're also looking for next solutions for models that can be, we can run them on the device itself. Because it's all about privacy. We don't want to share any information about you to third parties, because it's really important. And now most of the companies can't save you information, and we have such problems as leaks, etc. And I think the context of your day, of your life, is pretty it's a private information. So basically, if it's being analyzed on your device, it solves a lot of problems. Yeah, and we have here pretty cool liquid design. I'm pretty, I really like this. Spent like two weeks building those animations. Yeah, the thing is, we have a lot of successful people in this world, and we can go the way they live their lives. For example, we know a lot about them through biographies, etc. So we can we can save their auras on the chain, so people can get access to them. And for example, I want to be like Jeff Bezos, for example, and we have some personal vectors on chain, and we can improve our lives this way. For example, Jeff Bezos can be stubborn in way of business, not giving up. He's real professional, etc. And I want to become such person, successful and professional. So Aura can make you make it possible, so you can become such person step by step, every day, making you better. Also, it can analyze the way you speak, the way you present yourself, the way you yeah, it figures out these patterns. For example, you use some words like and yeah, so in this kind of way, it can be useful and also interesting, because again, your psychologist, your life coach can spend with you maximum 1 hour, 2 hours, and through a lot of sessions. So this application is more about reflection. We don't want it on this stage. We don't want it to be a healthcare application, because we need to collect a lot of data, and also we need help of real professionals, in like psychologists and life coaches. So at this stage now, it's more about your companion looks at you and just telling you what it sees, how you behave, because sometimes we don't see the way we behave, like in just our usual life. Yeah, what about architecture? I already told you that we wanted to be as private, like we really care about privacy. Yeah, we have speech input. Now it's transcribing everything, and this is the problem, that just text can't figure out the tone of your speech. For example, you can be sad, you can be happy. Yeah, it kind of can figure out by words you say, but the way you say, that we planning to use audio tokens, and frontier models can figure out the current state through tone. Yeah, just it's analysis of my current speech. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that it sometimes gives like Russian text here, but anyway, I'll show you the debug page.
So
Next.
I'm just like, maybe I'm gonna want to just kind of jump in and ask here. So the from the blockchain part, my understanding is that you envision it to be kind of like a marketplace for, I mean, not auras, but I mean, of course, but kind of your emotional states, your behavior patterns. So kind of it could be probably, I can presume it will be kind of part where it's kind of published there. So there's like a famous person who uses the app and she's successful, apparently. That's kind of obvious. Or like you could be publicly audited, and then like they could publish kind of their how the behavior patterns, their kind of how they approach life, I guess, on the daily basis. And then like users can probably kind of like buy into, let's say, that profile. Yeah, kind of like, I want to be like Tony Robbins. I want to be like, and then that kind of would move them towards that, but could give them nudges. Is that my understanding, or am I wrong?
The thing is, to collect such data, we need time and we need money for sure. But I see it this way, that you also can save your own aura, your current state, because you can be pretty nice and like super person. But the thing is, to achieve things that, for example, Jeff Bezos achieved or Elon Musk, we don't know them that deep, really. We don't know them. So we can just create such marketplace of people, anonymized, of course. For example, this particular person does this, and this too, and it feels pretty well during the day. It achieves a lot of stuff. This person achieves a lot of goals and being pretty happy. So if you want to move towards like the schema of this person, the aura of this person, you can do this, and this stuff. I see it this way.
Nice, that's cool.
Yeah.
But please.
I was gonna jump in there. So firstly, the UI looks amazing. The idea is super cool, of course. AI products are very interesting. I'm also learning machine learning and AI myself, so it's cool to see the speech to text and under the hood that you're using Gemini API. And obviously this prototype stage.
You are very enthusiastic. The app is saying that.
Yeah, it's still listening. That's the
funny
problem
because,
is, yeah, another problem. I'm sorry.
Sorry to interrupt you. Actually,
Yeah, no problem.
We need to transcribe only the voice of the current user. So I'm working on it. Yeah, Apple UI, Apple App Kit allows us to really figure out the voice of the user. So it can only transcribe that you speak. So.
Yeah, don't worry. This is also prototype, and it's we're all building here, so completely understand.
Yeah.
I have two questions. So one, are you looking at getting involved in the startup challenges? And then two, I wonder if there is, I know you mentioned one blockchain way, but do you think you'll do maybe a bit more deeper research to see where blockchain, instead of just being maybe slotted, but could somehow enhance? So obviously AI is a huge area where there's a lot of generative AI, where say even if we look at images or videos today, we have no idea if they're true or not. and blockchain is the only way to solve having something time-stamped to verify it, and these types of solutions. So to have verifiability with AI, which is extremely hard, we can use blockchain to have that verifiability. Do you think you'll do a bit like more research, or are you still researching on how blockchain could maybe improve instead of just instead of adding like an extra component or feature, it just enhances what you already have? And of course, as you keep building and when you get more users, or after the prototype and you get users, you'll see what the users actually like and what they find helpful. But yeah, I guess the first question, since this is more AI, are you thinking of doing the startup challenges? And then the second one is your thoughts on how you will incorporate blockchain more.
Yeah, we're building this for 3 weeks. Yeah, basically, we really think about how to use blockchain the best way we can. The first thing and first idea was that, yeah, do we really need to store all of this kind of information about your days? For example, you want to like short text about your previous day, or like that was a week ago, and maybe blockchain can help us to just save this information. Yeah, we also think about how to really use blockchain, not just as a, you know, like add-on or the way you pay for it, but also how to improve privacy, how to improve this personal way that we really communicate with user, and how the application works with user. Yeah, and currently we thinking about the way that we can adjust the application, how to make it work better in terms of that you asked that we can be sure that AI life coach, AI psychologist can be real help for you. That's why it's wellness application. It's not about healthcare, because we need a bunch of data to figure out how it's gonna work, how it's gonna help. And of course, it's not it's a big thing. So
yeah,
we can figure out in 3 weeks, but we're definitely gonna figure out in 3 months, or maybe in 3 years. But still, it's like AI models are improving too, and with it, our application will be better, for sure.
Yeah.
Also, we have some we had some thoughts about special AI model that really trained for such kind of help, or we can just use one multimodal AI model, but at the same time, we just use the second one to give deep insights about your current state, mental health, the way the life you live, it's like about your life, insights about you. The thing is, right now, it's capable of getting the context. It's capable of analyzing the information, and it's text. So that's why we need audio tokens for sure. And it's capable of looking at you from the side. About deep insights,
I think here the part
Yeah.
also, like what Sarah Jane mentioned about the blockchain part. So I think it would be kind of like I think I would be also curious maybe later to hear maybe your team kind of maybe inputs of like you have a little bit of space. So like how would it make kind of sense to integrate it so it'd be a core thing, not kind of AI project which uses blockchain? I think in my opinion.
Yeah, I think say if you're going for the startup challenges, which is like the next program we're launching, which we went through earlier, of course there needs to be some integration with Algorand, and we take through how you can integrate Algorand into maybe your already proof of concept and things like this. But I think to have a really good think about how blockchain, there's so many different ideas that you can incorporate blockchain. It just depends on what you're passionate about or what makes sense for your product. But yeah, overall, like obviously super cool product. But for the blockchain component, for the startup challenges, if you're going for that, definitely research into it, and feel free to, if you have any questions, say in a few days, you're like, oh, maybe this blockchain integration or this blockchain idea work for Aura. I'll be very happy to answer your question, but we are a blockchain. We are not an AI company, of course.
Yeah.
So
Perfect. That was very cool.
yeah, pretty cool.
So let's if anyone wants to go for, let's go for it. I think that could be probably the last one, because we are already like 2 hours into this call. So if anyone want to go for kind of the last pitch of the day, and I think then the later ones we can also like figure out somehow to discuss if there's any other questions. Is anyone still up for the last pitch of the day? Or should we call it a day?
Everyone has my my contact, and also Mateus dropped in his 1-to-1 as well. So yep, perfect. Joanna, please feel free. Or if you're muted. Oh.
Joanna,
bet-
you look different today.
I bet you're surprised. I stole Joanna's laptop. I don't know if she was going into another meeting, and I just thought we'd say hello. Thanks for the invitation today. Love to hear everybody's ideas. We're pretty excited. Team of 3, the obvious best number. No offense to teams of 4, etc. We were initially doing the block. Well, short pitch, because we're running quite late now, and we're looking forward to connecting with everyone later. We wanted to deal with some of the API data loss that occurs and use tokenization on the blockchain, either ARC-19s, and with the future outlay into ARC-41s. It'd be cool to be able to have manipulatable NFTs that can add a layer of security and then potentially develop into a growing market for excess data. So 2-level structures. First of all, you're helping 650,000 euro losses to be reduced. And the second is that on leftover data, it can be bundled together, which is good usage of dynamic NFTs and the like, at least potentially. So that's what we're looking into, and we're enjoying exploring the journey on the blockchain in Algorand.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you've signed up then to the startup challenges.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Then I think you already know that your idea is super interesting. I think it also solves a problem out there. I always find it very interesting, the technical ideas that get created to try help solve some of these problems, like losses, or in your case, API sort of losses or traces of losses. So yeah, super excited to see you guys go through the journey of the startup challenges. We went through the sessions earlier as well, so hopefully some of them pick your fancy. We recommend all of them, especially to gain the most trust, and we can also learn a lot more, because it'll be live. You can do live questions as well. So if something that we show you're not sure about, or you want to go deeper into, it's a really great place to do that. So yeah, really excited to see your project and startup challenges. I told you I would force you to go for it.
Yes, we took your messages very seriously, and we're getting focused and getting aligned. We're actually having a meeting at the minute.
Oh, very good.
Tech support is in the corner and ready to go.
Awesome.
Thanks very much, and look
See you
forward to
next
talking
week.
to everybody and catching up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Amir, I think wants to also have a short, just if it's like a short one, because I think we kind of, do we have time, Sarah Jane, for one more?
Yeah, sure, go on.
But yeah, let's
thank you
keep
so
it
much. Yeah,
No
condensed.
problem.
yeah, our project was it's quite simple. We have a payment for streaming instead of having this subscription or advertising based streaming platform. Without that, we can have a calculate and monetize it through connecting wallet. And the logic that we use is that we calculate each second, each 10 seconds, and having such a screening account. And after leaving the page, we will calculate and subtract from the wallet. So it's some kind of you pay as much as you play and watch it. That's it.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect. So,
I already explained it earlier. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
sorry, I
Oh,
didn't know that.
okay.
Yeah,
perfect
There's
then.
2 in 1.
Awesome.
you're welcome.
Great.
Yeah, excited to see you guys grow through the startup challenges as well. As I
Yes.
already mentioned to Bulbul, super excited for your idea. As for all of the
Thank you
Berlin
so much.
hackathons,
Thank you.
no, thank you so much, Amir, for your time. It's been really interesting seeing all the ideas come from Berlin. So we're definitely going to come back. We think there's so much potential there. As Michael mentioned at the very beginning of the call, Gulsa, who is in one of the leads for marketing, and then Ram, who's a lead for Accelerator. And then I'm probably going to move over next year as well. So we'll have a nice hub in Berlin, and we'll be able
Looking
to
forward
support
to
you
having
guys.
you here.
Yeah, it'll be fantastic. And so really do take advantage of the opportunities. What you do now for then the opportunities to come next summer, there could be new programs and new ideas. So it'll be super interesting. So I hope to see everyone in the startup challenges. If you have time and you have effort to put into it, there's nothing to lose, just a lot to gain for sure.
Yes, thank you very much all for joining. And yeah, we have not even announced what's going to come next year, but we're working now on the schedule. So there's going to be much more cool events. The hackathon will be, at least there should be a bigger hackathon than we did. The previous one was really nice. So yeah, and this year we're still going to have 1 to 2 events, so in person. So we're going to be looking forward to having you all there.
Perfect. Thank you all so much for your time.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Sarah Jane and
Thank
Matthias, who already left, for taking your time. It was quite a long call, I guess, for you. So thank you very much for jumping in.
No, can't wait for the next one. All right. Thank you
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.